This session couldn't have happened without you, actually. As a short introduction about myself, I'm Aya Abu Ghalioum, a recent graduate from American University of Beirut with a bachelor's degree in applied mathematics. I am, as Tiara mentioned, I'm a Crossroads alumni from the 2020 cohorts.
I think you might be on mute.
Yes, exactly. I'm muted. Yes. So I repeat, just I was saying, thank you so much for attending our info session. This session couldn't have happened without you. As a short introduction about myself, I am Aya Abu Ghalioum. I'm a recent graduate from American University of Beirut with a bachelor's degree in applied mathematics. As Tiara mentioned, I am a Crossroads 2020 alumni, and I have the privilege and honor to guide you through your application and talk about my experience as a Crossroads alumni and applicants when I was last year. So yeah, looking forward to tell you more about the program and what benefits could you gain.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Mira Muhammad. I'm also Crossroads alumni, also from Lebanon, but I'm Palestinian. So I'm 21 years old, and I'm a senior student at Beirut Arab University. I'm doing biomedical sciences. I'm also from the cohort 2020. So as Aya said, thank you for being here today and giving us time to guide you through your application process. And I want to tell you from the start, since you are considering applying to this program and putting time and effort into it, you are ready readers because you want to make the change. So I can't wait to start with this session with you guys.
So basically, I'll share my screen for the presentation. Please tell me when you can see my screen, okay?
We can see your screen.
Perfect. So welcome to the Crossroads Emerging Leaders Program 2021. We will start, just a second. Okay. So what is Crossroads Emerging Leaders Program? First, it is a leadership development opportunity. It is given by Harvard professors, and it targets first-generation college students. Who are the founders? We have Mr. Ghulam Amarsi. He is the president of Emirates, Harvard Business Club of the Gulf Cooperation Council. And then we have Professor Tarun Khana. He is a Harvard Business professor also. And we have Karim Lakhani, also a Harvard Business professor. Basically, Professor Tarun and Professor Karim will lead you through the program. All will be present. However, Professor Tarun and Professor Karim will lead you through the lectures, in addition to a lot more of Harvard faculty. Now, who can apply to the Crossroads Emerging Leadership Program? First person in their immediate family or the first member of a generation to attend university. I just want to clarify some things in this point. What do we mean by first person in their immediate family? What do we mean by this is the first students or children who attended university, which means that parents could not attend university before, and they are the first generation in their family. However, if your brother or sister attended university, this is totally fine. You are still eligible to apply for the program. However, if one of your parents attended, then unfortunately you are not qualified to apply. Second criteria is a low income background, ages from 18 to 26, currently enrolled or recently graduated from university, has not attended graduate school, and when we mean by graduate school, it's master's and PhD, have not traveled before. This only exceptional cases are considered. What do we mean by this? It's when that you travel, yes, you traveled, however, your traveling expenses were fully funded. Like you did not pay anything from your on your expenses. Noor, would you like to continue?
Yes. Now about the required documents. So when you apply for this program, you need to submit some documents.
Sure.
One of them, yeah, it's fine.
Mm,
Can you go back a slide, please?
yes, sorry.
Right. Yeah, so you need the confirmation from university that you are currently enrolled. It can be a transcript. It doesn't have to be an official one, like the one that you have to get from the register. It can be from the university account, from your account. It can be confirmation like this student is registered at our university or they recently graduated. It doesn't have to be super official, but it have to be a documentation that will prove that you are still enrolled at university. Second thing, it's a one-page resume. So basically, include all the stuff about you. Let's say your achievements. What did you do? Do you volunteer? Anything that would be relevant to the program and that would portray that you are a leader in your community, and it will like highlight your leadership experiences. And finally, your ID verification. It can be either your ID verification, the nationality. It can be a passport, or in Lebanon we have the civil record, the إخراج إد for the Lebanese. It can also be considered as an ID verification. Next slide, please. Yeah, and mentioning the deadline for this application, it's March 22, and it's a very simple application. I think it's one of the easiest application to fill out. It will take maximum 30 minutes to fill it out because you have to submit the document, fill some basic information, and only one mini essay. It's like 200 words. So it's pretty simple. So about the essay, it's actually a pretty common question from a lot of applicants, what to include, what not to include, or how to write it. So for me, whenever I apply to any program, one important tip is to share your story, because what will make you unique, each one of us is a unique person. They have different backgrounds, different stories to tell. So please be share your story. Let's say for people from Lebanon, let's say you are a refugee in Lebanon. We know how hard are the circumstances there. So do tell your story. Tell how you were a leader in that story because you didn't give up. You kept on pushing and motivating others to not to give up. So tell your story. Second is to demonstrate your leadership by providing example. Anyone can say, "Or I am a leader," but will prove that you are a leader is actually saying, "Oh, let's say once I did a clothes drive, once I was volunteering with the Red Cross, I was volunteering with this NGOs." Provide actions, provide examples. How were you a leader? What did you do in your community? It can be like simple stuff. It doesn't have to be a big project. Every single thing that you do in order to help your community, even small actions, are leadership's action. And another thing, don't write it as an article format, because would you rather read a story or read an article? So try to be interactive with the reader and write it in a story format. And finally, to talk about your future goals in a leadership frame. Let's say mine, for example, I want to be a researcher. By being a researcher, I can help millions of people if I discover, let's say, the COVID vaccine. So that will be a leadership act. So I'm sure all of your majors, whenever, whatever you want to apply in, you can be leaders in that domain. So try to put those goals in a leadership frame. Aya, next slide, please. All right. So I think now it's the best part, the benefits that we'll get out of the program. First, I want to highlight a huge benefit. Even though if you didn't reach the final stage, which being a finalist, by being a participant inside the program from the very first moment, you're gonna start networking with a lot of people from all around the world. And what I absolutely love about Crossroads program, it connects you with not only normal people, but actually leaders from different nationalities. So for me, I was privileged for the opportunity to start meeting people right away, and until now we still talk together and do some common project in Lebanon and all around the world together. So I think the very first benefit of Crossroads is just meeting people and being having them as a network and as a connection, and you can do a lot of projects together, which I absolutely love. So if you are a participant, the first thing you can get is free access to Harvard EDX courses, which is completely for free, and they are very beneficial. I learned so many stuff, so I think it's a great added value. Second is machine learning based skills assessment and recommendation for improvements. So they're gonna assist you by some tests that they do, and you're gonna start noticing your weaknesses, how to do some improvement for those weaknesses. And finally, you're gonna have live and interactive sessions with the senior Harvard faculty from range of disciplinary backgrounds. So it's not only business oriented, there's so many domains at the same time. So from any background, you can adapt easily. And for me, it was an amazing experience. Aya, do you want to talk about semifinalists and the finalists?
Yes, sure. Now, according to the semi-finalist and finalist stages, for the semi-finalist and finalists, basically they will have the same opportunities. The first one, mentorship opportunities with Harvard alumni and industry leaders. And trust me, it was one of the amazing experiences I had to encounter. It's really beneficial and useful, and you can widen your horizons and change your mindsets regarding any topic. Then smaller peer group settings to discuss course material and academic affinities. What do we mean by this is like before the session, we had a small group discussions about the material given to us. And in this way, you can network with your cohort, with some of the Crossroad team, share your ideas, share what you are thinking about concerning the case and concerning the topic in general. The third part, access to paid or unpaid internships locally, regionally, or internationally. And this is something new, I think, and it is beneficial actually. And for any undergraduate students who are still in university, do internships as much as possible to add them on your CV. It will pay off, or this hard work will pay off later on when you are searching for a job. Also, access to mentorship for 1 year post program, as mentioned by Mariam. We are still, until now, we are in contact with the Crossroad team, the Crossroad also cohorts from different cohorts. Actually, we had several meetings together. And the final thing, participation in an annual region alumni event. Also, this event would lead you to networking and to have good connections. And trust me, this program will give you a really valued connections from different domains: economics, social sciences, natural sciences, business, and everything. Now for the finalists, we have basically three rewards. First, intensive finalist program with case study based curriculum, which here in this stage you study big cases, national cases, for example. Second one, consideration for $1,500 student grant for internships or short courses in the region. And the third one, competition for a $10,000 seed fund for innovative in-region initiatives. I need to mention that the last two are new, so make advantage of them and really and really take it into consideration. It's really a nice initiative from the Crossroad. Now, what's next? After you knew what are the eligibility criteria and how is the application process and what awaits you after the selection has made, what's next? So basically, for you now, you need to submit your application, connect with us on social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and join our community. Here are the social media accounts. Please feel free to follow us and reach out if you have any questions or any concern. Yeah. Now, please feel free to unmute yourself if you want, or in the chat, write your questions so that we can answer you whenever you want.
All right. Aya, there's some question in the chat box. I'll be reading them, so we'll be able to answer them.
Perfect.
So the first one is from Karam Fayyad. He's saying, I'm currently attending my first semester in a master program at ASU. Am I eligible? Unfortunately not, because if you start your master's or a PhD, you won't be eligible. The one who are eligible for the program, they are still in their BS degree or they recently graduated and still did not start master's or a PhD program.
Uh, I just um, I just have one question for you. If even if the master is fully funded, I think Tiara could help us in this
Yes.
question. Tiara, I have a question. Even if the master program is funded and for example, the person had a scholarship to fully fund his master's program, is he eligible or not?
So, sorry. Thank you so much for the question. We're really glad, Karam. Thank you for joining us today. I think despite the fact, because it's a master's program, the Crossroads program is geared towards current undergraduates and recent graduates of undergraduate programs. But because you're already enrolled in master's program, I'm sorry, you don't meet the eligibility criteria. But if the application it doesn't take you too long and you've already filled it out, please write to us through the platform and we can potentially make a case-by-case exception, Karam, because we do want to support you as best we can, and we know that if you're on a scholarship that this program could potentially benefit you. So thanks for the question, and if you can fill out the application, just write to us through the platform and we can make a case-by-case exception.
Thank you so much, Tiara, for this clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have another question from Muhammad As-Sultan. He said, I don't understand the last point on eligible, the one about traveling. So Muhammad, one of the eligibility criteria, you should not have traveled outside your country before, but there are some exceptions. Let's say you have a conference at Turkey or whatever country in the world, but it was fully funded. That means they didn't pay for it and it was for educational purposes. Then they do exception. Just send an email, tell them I traveled to this country because of this. It was fully funded, and they can make exception by cases, as Tiara said. So anything like you think you fall under all the eligibility criteria, but there's something that like you're out of those eligibility, you can email the Crossroads teams at any time and they can like communicate with you and tell you if they are able to do some exceptions for your case. I think this question is for Tiara too, from Mansoor Hamidi. He's asking where the program will launch. Tiara?
So that's a great question. So this year, unfortunately, so typically with Crossroads, we are able to convene all of our finalists in Dubai for a week-long experience with the faculty, and so they get to meet their fellow finalists. Unfortunately, with COVID, that doesn't seem like it'll be possible within the next few months, but it is definitely our goal to not only bring together the finalists from this year, but also from last year as soon as it is safe. So the entire program will be delivered virtually, and the finals program will be in July this year. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. All right, so Margus, I think if you want to answer this question, he's saying or she's saying, what type of course will be there?
Did she mean by the Harvard X courses?
Let's answer both Harvard X courses and like being a finalist.
Yes, sure. Actually, what I remember from the Harvard X courses, you had a wide variety of choices, and you have the option to choose one course that you want to continue, and in which you will have a certificate for. Of course, this is a really beneficial stage, because you will have certificate from Harvard. Now, according to what type of courses, you will have entrepreneurship courses. What else did we have?
Yeah, we have one entrepreneurship course. We have one about statistics. We had one about health workers. We had one about social sciences and the humanities, I think. So it's like diverse courses, which is really nice. And what you will notice, even though they are recorded, the level of interaction within the course is tremendous. You're gonna feel like as if you are in the class. You're gonna absolutely love those courses.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree. And also, you have the choice to choose any of the courses according to your interest.
That's true. And about the courses that you got, if you got selected, it's not actually courses, it's more of study cases, and they are
Exactly.
also very different and diverse. So we
Mm-hmm.
had some medical study cases. I remember about a device
Yes.
called Zebra that reads like the
Yes.
X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. It was combination between medical stuff and artificial intelligence. There were some about economy, and
Mm-hmm.
it was so many diverse stuff. Like, it's an amazing
Yes.
program, honestly.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you have the chance to solve or to think about worldwide problems. And this
Mhm.
will widen your mind, to see things from different perspective, not only from from a perspective as a student, however, from a perspective as a professional and economist, political and everything else.
Yes, exactly. That when you have like before the actual session with the professor, you have like peer session with your colleagues, and each one of you will see their point of view about this case study that they gave you, and everyone start discussing, and you start knowing how the others see it from different domains and from their specialty, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just as if you're connecting all the dots. Like as Aya said, one of the best thing about the experience is meeting people from diverse backgrounds, and you're gonna get to know how to think together like a team, how to accept the other opinion, how to alter or to make your solution better by taking the other's perspective. Because let's say I'm from a medical background, I am from mathematical background,
Mm-hmm.
and someone else is economy. So we're gonna complete each other, and this is something I really love about the program because the diversity it just completes each one of us, and finally by the end of the discussion you're going to be, whoa, we came up with an amazing solution for this problem, which is very fascinating, honestly.
Yes, exactly. Like I totally remember from my experience, it was virtual, but I was fascinated by how the solutions are like thinking outside the box
Yeah.
and having to look at it at the problem or at the case from really different perspective from each professional and from each party participating in the program. It was really nice, and it changed my perspective personally, and it's really useful at the
Yeah,
same time.
and adding to that, who's attending here from Lebanon, I know our online system education is not the best, and we often get bored or just we don't want to attend the class. But in my case, honestly, I was demotivated a little bit when I knew the program will be online because of COVID.
Yes.
But the way they deliver it, honestly, I promise you, your mind will be blown away. The way that they make it so interactive, and they don't just hand you out the solution, they put you in this environment where you can think and where you can communicate with others. And little by little, you're just gonna have the solution by yourself. So the way
Mm-hmm.
that they use in teaching is so unique and so special. You're gonna notice how much different the way that they explain stuff. That's why even though this program we're gonna be online this year, but I can promise you it's not gonna be like any program that you attended online.
Exactly. And one advice, if you have the chance to get into the final stages and attend the lectures, participate, and engage. Speak out when they have when they open the options to participate. Raise your hand and participate and speak out. Don't be afraid of your opinion or your point of view. No. Totally opposite, participate, because you will not feel this excitement and enjoyment of learning something new unless you speak out and really share your opinion and share your knowledge about a certain topic.
Yes, 100% true.
Mhm,
All right. So we have a question from Diana.
mhm.
She's saying, is it bad if I have just opened LinkedIn and have no connections? Yeah, it's totally fine. I don't
Yeah,
think it have any relationship with the program itself. LinkedIn is just like a platform where you can connect with people. So you just can go and connect people, but it doesn't have any relation with the program. And definitely you can follow the program on LinkedIn. It will be like one of your very first connections. So it's a nice thing to have.
yeah.
All right. Karam replied, yes, it's a fully funded scholarship. So as Tiara said, you can send it out an email and they can make an exception for you. And all right, we have a question from a very hard name, Praganshu Gautam. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right, sorry. He said his father completed undergrad course, but it is from low income level. So the applicant will be eligible for this program or not. I don't exactly know what does that mean, but if you mean it was a low income university, any type of degree from I think any type of universities, if they completed their undergrad studies, unfortunately they won't be eligible. But you can also send an email to Crossroads. You can clarify it more, and if they can do an exception, definitely if they can, they will. So feel
Mhm.
free to connect with them. All right. Another question from Diane. Being a first generation mean that my parents or grandpa do not have any higher education degree or that they never attended any college course. Uh, what I believe it means they didn't graduate from university. I'm not sure. Tiara, can you please give us more details?
Yes. Diana, so your description of being first generation student is completely correct. So the goal is that your parents do not hold any degrees from an undergraduate institution. So from university, they don't hold like a BA or a BS degree, or if there's an different equivalent in your country. So Diana, I think you're correct.
Mhm. All right. Muhammad Sultan, he's saying he's a sophomore student on my university studying BC. So I'm eligible, yes, as long as you're still an undergrad and or you recently graduated, you are eligible to apply. So, Aya, we have a question from Baiza Ko, I
Mhm.
think. What is the hardest part for you through all the process? That's a very interesting question.
Basically, the hardest part, I guess, when I was doing the AmCAT exam.
Yes.
Yes, because like you don't know what the AmCAT is personally in Lebanon. It's not quite known, and the material, you don't know the material, and you don't know the anything about the exam, and then you take the exam, and then you are waiting for the results.
Mhm.
So yeah, this was the
Hardest.
hardest part concerning the application. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to agree with Aya. Also, like when I did it, I tried to look out what is it, but I didn't fully understand what was the
Mm-hmm.
exam. And when I did it, I understand basically what is it. But later on, what I found online, actually, there are some samples, I think, yeah, there are some samples online, but you have to really look for them to find them. Where are they?
Yes.
So I really highly recommend you download some samples and like just practice just for the timing. The questions are not hard at all. They are common questions. It's English and mathematics, and they are basic stuff. They're not advanced. Anyone who like graduated high school, they can solve them. So what I recommend is to actually practice them. So you can know how to manage your time because it's also time. So you have a specific time for each section. So I highly recommend for you actually to practice, but do not worry about it because a lot of people were able to pass it without practicing it. But like as a bonus, like be prepared is always better than not being prepared at all.
Yes, I totally agree with Mariam too.
Let's see. All right, Mahmoud Rajab, he's asking, in my resume, what the administration need for me to present? In my resume, for example, what I included is my leadership actions in Lebanon. Let's say my volunteering experience, some of the mini projects that I did inside my university or around my community. What else did I include? And my achievements and awards. It doesn't have to be something big. I always say this. Little actions that we do in our community makes a huge difference, whether we see it or not. Because even if you were able to help one person, it is a difference. You are helping someone out. So even if it was a small thing that you did, maybe you collecting some clothes for people, or you did a small food drive, or I don't know, did a study group for people who have very hard financial background. All of these actions are considered leadership actions. Leadership is about working towards making a difference in your community. So I think you should be highlighting those parts in your resume. What did you highlight in your resume?
Actually, I highlighted my extracurricular activities, inside the university, whether I joined a club, whether I was a cabinet member in a club, these were highlighted, and also any volunteering and internships I did before.
Yeah. Tiara, do you have like anything in mind when it comes to resume? Are you looking for something specific inside of them?
No, I think what you two talked about is perfect. I think we really want to get to know you as a person. So any kind of activity you did beyond your grades is helpful to include on your resume. I also just want to say if you're really struggling with the resume aspect of the application at this stage of the program, it's an optional part of the application. So I know that some of you may be applying from your phones. I know it's really hard to create an entire Word document of your resume on your phone. So I think my recommendation would be if you're really struggling with the resume, just make sure your LinkedIn is up to date, and that should be completely fine. You can skip the resume requirement at this stage. But everything Miriam and Aya said is spot on. It also, if you don't feel like you have enough experiences from your past to put on your resume, that's okay. I think part of it is the exercise of going through putting it together, because having a resume is a very useful document if you're looking for jobs, if you're looking for internships on your own. So that's part of the reason we asked for it.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Tara. We also have two questions for you, actually, Tara. Margus is asking how many students are selected?
So that's a really good question. So I guess what I would like to emphasize, and of course, Miriam and I have a much more useful perspective on this, is that if you join the program, you will receive benefits at every stage. And the first 3 stages of the program are completely self-selecting. So as long as you complete a Harvard X course, you would be invited to take the online assessment. As long as you do that, you can participate in the live interdisciplinary seminar series with our faculty members across Harvard. From there, we will select 300 to 500 semifinalists who will be eligible for the internship and mentorship opportunities. And then from there, we'll select around 100 finalists for the program. But again, I think even before the semifinalist stage, there's so much you can learn.
Yes, I totally agree. The Harvard courses are really, really nice and beneficial. And I want to mention something that, yes, the deadline is on March 22, but don't wait until March 22 to apply. And the application is really short. It only needs 30 minutes as maximum to complete. But the soonest you submit your application, the better. And this is the case also for Harvard courses. The soonest you complete a Harvard course, the better, and you can be eligible to continue for further stages.
Yeah, I want to add something to Tara too. Like, don't look about the numbers. Don't say, oh, from, let's say, I don't know, from our year, I think there was 8,000 applicants and they chose 80 as finalists. And when people look at those statistics, they get scared. But no, it's not the case. Don't look, all right, what's my chance to get accepted? Actually, just enjoy the program and learn as much you can, because you never know who will get selected. For me, I applied. I was like, if I got selected, that would be great. If not, I had connections and I learned a lot of new stuff. So don't look about numbers. You never know if you can get selected. Just believe in yourself and enjoy the ride, as they say. So another question from Diana. I think this is also for Tiara. So 2020, 2021 alumni will meet in person when COVID is over.
So yeah, thank you for the question, Diana. That's definitely our goal. We really believe in the power of connecting the students in person, and that's what we're working towards. Unfortunately, we can't confirm or provide any details until the travel situation around the whole world has really shifted. So that could be in a year, that could be in a couple months. But that is definitely the goal of Crossroads, is to convene in person soon.
Perfect. So Hiam Mariano, she's saying, unfortunately, I didn't finish my first college, so I cannot send the document with my grades. I'd like to know if I can send only a proof of enrollment in the college. So Hiam, if you are still enrolled as a student and for whatever reason you cannot complete your first semester or your first year, I don't know what you mean by first college, then yes, you can send a proof of enrollment in college. And I think if you have any more specific details, if you need anything more, you can talk to Tierra, or you can send an email to Crossroads, explain the situation, and they can assist you what to do next and what is your next step. But as long as you are enrolled inside the university, I think you're good to apply, even though if you didn't complete the first semester or the second semester. So if you want to answer this, it's from Rashana.
Mhm.
What would be the criteria of selecting people to the next stage, as in how someone will be selected?
First, after submitting your application, you will be assessed concerning your eligibility criteria, and the sooner you submit your application, the better. After that, after submitting the application and getting accepted, then you will receive the Harvard courses. Here, it depends on your profile. It depends on when did you finish the Harvard courses. And yeah, I think Tiara could help in this.
Sure. So thanks for the question, Rachna. So Aya's completely right. To get to the next stage of the Harvard X courses, we just checked your eligibility. So we want to make sure that you're from a low income background and that you're the first member of your family or part of the first generation of your family to attend university. After that, it's very self-selecting. So as long as you complete a Harvard X course, you'll be invited to the online assessment. As long as you do the online assessment, you participate in our live sessions with the Harvard faculty members. SemiFinalists, it's really important for us to get a sense of who you are as a student. I do remember reading Miriam and Aya's applications last year, and I think what really came through is that they're so curious. And so I think that's really what stood out. And so curiosity and a genuine interest in connecting with other young leaders, I think really would make your application stand out. That's a really good
Yeah.
question, Rashna.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. So Muhammad Al-Sultan is asking, he traveled to Bahrain and Kuwait for non-educational purposes. Is it fine? You can send an email to Crossroads and explain why did you travel, and they can tell you if that's fine or not, I think. So we have a comment from Judy Abitoy. She or he's saying, this is lovely and lively. Well done. Loving the alumni. Thank you. Thank you for listening to us. Vitor is asking, in the first stage, how many students are selected? Can those selected in the first stage be a part of Network Connect and Alumni? I can answer the second part. The first time you get accepted at Crossroads, there's a group on Facebook, for example, and people start adding numbers. I remember like we all put our numbers in the comment, and someone created a group, and we start talking every day. What are we doing in our communities? Getting to know each other basically, and it was pretty fun. And we started connecting. I remember from the first time I entered the WhatsApp group, I connected with so many people, especially from Nigeria. And until now, I'm doing so many projects in Nigeria, even though I'm in Lebanon. So yes, you can definitely have networks and connections out of the very first step. But as you move forward, you're gonna like grow more and more this network. And about the first part, Tiara can help. How many students are selected from the first stage?
Yeah, Vitor. So we actually have an unlimited amount of opportunity through Crossroads to share the resources that we have at Harvard. So there's no limit to the number of students we select. We just make sure that they're from low income backgrounds and are the first members of their family to attend university. I hope that answers the question.
Another question for Tiara from Diana. In other session, they said we can ask for an alumni mentor. How can I ask for a mentor? Alumni from Latin America.
Diana, that's a really great question. We have alumni in Brazil and Ecuador that I'm happy to connect you to. If you can shoot us an email at celpglobal@gmail.com, I would love to connect you with either Isabella or Linda. I'm sure they'll be very happy to talk to you. Just shoot us an email and we'll set up the connection.
We have a question from Parajka. They're asking, when will the course start from?
That's a good question. I can go ahead and answer, Miriam, if that's okay. We'll be launching our Harvard X courses within the next couple of days. So as soon as our team goes through your application and reviews it, we will send you the information to access your Harvard X course. They are live as of today. So as soon as we get to your application, we can get you started on them. Thanks for the question.
All right. Another question from Diana. Where can we find the practice resources for the exam? What I did, actually, what I did after the exam, I think I think I went to the website. Yes, I went to the website, and there they had some free samples. They are not like full samples. It's just part of the samples. But whatever material I could find online, I went to the images, and like I went to several documents, because for me, I was like, even when I did the exam, I was like, if I didn't like do well or didn't pass it, I want to apply next year. So I better find some practice exams. So that's what I did. So I think if you went to the website, you can find some free samples. And if I found them again, I can send them to Tiara. You can share them, I think, on the social media or something for the students for later on stages. Um,
I just
Zainab,
want to, yeah,
yeah.
I just want to add something concerning also the AmCAT. Actually, what I did from my personal experience is I did a Google search on AmCAT and found samples. However, it's somewhat tricky because there are versions of AmCAT exams, and every version is different than the other. That's why it was the hardest part, because we didn't know which version it is with the Crossroad.
Exactly. Um, Zainab is asking, is it like the SAT exam? No. It, for me, it felt different. I don't know. What about you, Aya?
No, no, it's not like the SAT. The SAT is much longer, and I think it's harder, the SAT.
Mhm.
The AMCAT is simple. It does not require. It's not time consuming as for an exam, but it needs some analytical thinking in the math part.
Yes. Yeah, it needs a lot of like it's a tricky exam. It's not like hard tricky. It's actually the fun tricky where you need to use your brain to answer the questions, but like it's not impossible. Like even without practicing, you can pass it. So it's just
Mhm.
about using your brains and being analytical, and the kind of a person who thinks on the spot. All right, what I'm going to do.
Mhm. And also, I want to mention something from my personal experience. I did apply to Crossroad in 2019. However, after my AMCAT exam, I wasn't shortlisted to continue the final stages, but I
Hmm.
reapplied in the 2020 cohorts. And then
Hmm.
I was selected and shortlisted to be in the final stages. So this is something that you need to learn, that even if you weren't selected or you weren't
Exactly.
shortlisted for final stages, apply and apply and apply one more during the years, because you won't lose anything in applying.
Exactly. It's just a free application. It doesn't have any
Exactly.
fee. Really simple. And like if it's not meant to be, it won't happen. Everything comes in the right time. We say this in Lebanon. كل شيء حلو بوقته
Yeah.
for the Lebanese speaker. So yeah, just apply. Even if you fail, it's the part of success. It's only a fail when
Mhm.
you give up. So if you never give up and you highly believe that you can make it, you will make
Mhm.
it. So even if you fail this year, I do recommend applying next year until you get in, because there's nothing to lose.
Yeah, and actually you learn, like always, the first time applying to something new and such a program, it will be somewhat difficult, somewhat skeptic, somewhat heck, you don't know what you are doing. However, after applying next year's, you will find it, you will be familiar with the application and the process.
That's true. All right. We have a question from Viter. Actually, no, it's a comment. He's saying great advice. I will believe in myself. Thank you very much for the responses and the event meeting. Thank you for being here today. It's really a privilege knowing you, like even if it's connecting over Zoom. But yeah, thank you for being here today.
It's our
Um,
pleasure
yeah.
to help you.
Okay, a question from Baiza. We can both answer this, Aya. Have you had difficulty with language? If you had difficulty, how did you handle it?
Do you want me to start, or?
Yes, you can start if you want to.
Basically, from my experience, like the first few, like what we expected, that the program would be in Dubai, face to face and physical. For me personally, it was my first time experience having such a program virtually. with such a big number, with such a huge names like Harvard faculty and professors, and I wanted to participate. So yes, there was a pressure concerning the language. What if I missed a word? What if I forget what to speak? And what if I didn't say much? But once you speak for one time only, then you can do it, and the session will move smoothly, and you will talk freely and confidently also.
That's true.
So so no need to worry. It's just the first step, and then everything will go on.
Yeah, I highly agree with Aya. Plus, all of the participants, none of us are, native speakers of English.
Mhm.
So nobody judge you. Everyone speaks. Not all of us will have perfect English, and it's really fun. Actually, you get to know other English accents. The Nigerians one, the one from Ecuador, from Turkey. So it's actually an advantage for you in the future. If you ever work in an international team, you won't find it hard to understand other accents. And yeah, it's pretty fun, honestly. I don't think it was any difficulty. As I said, it just need to break this fear of like speaking out loud and just go for it. And everyone will listen and you're gonna have a nice chat together. All right, this is also a question. Do you have any suggestion for us to be successful in the program? Mm, if you reach the in-person program, I would again mention what I said is to participate, participate, participate. You're gonna get much more benefit if you are interactive with the faculty, with the other students. So I think the big part of being successful in the in-person program is gonna be online, just to interact with others. And the all other steps is to actually prepare and don't do everything last minute. So you have the AmCAT exam, do it beforehand. Don't do it a day before the deadline. Submit your application as soon as you can. Some of the tips we shared about the essay, just general stuff. For me, just like portray yourself, show that you are a leader in your community, and just believe in yourself again.
Write what you feel is right.
Yes, exactly. All right. This is for Diana. For Tiara from Diana. She's saying, if I change colleges, do I have to also send my transcript from the first college?
No, Diana, your most recent one is completely fine. Thanks
All
for
right. Hamad Sultan sent a clarification on why did he travel to Bahrain before. He said he traveled to see his friend and have fun. So Tiara, is he going to be eligible to apply?
Mohammed, I think based on our eligibility criteria, you may not be, but I would encourage you to write to us through the application platform, because then we can look at the information in your application and make a decision then. I hope that answers.
All right. So Rashana is asking, so would there be any exam for the next stage, or someone has just to attend the Harvard X courses, attend what the courses have to offer with sincerity and show curiosity? So after now the after now submitting your application, you're gonna go to the next phase, which is the Harvard X courses, and you just have to complete one course. Definitely there is assessment within the course, but they are very basic assessment. You just need to actually pay attention to the course, and it's pretty easy because it's very interesting. And after completing at least one course, you can go to the next step, which is the AmCAT exam, and that will be it. And about showing sincerity and curiosity, it will be portrayed through your essay, the 200-word essay. And yeah, that's basically it. And she also want to be connected with the mentor. She's from India.
Rachna, please shoot us an email and we will connect you to a alumni mentor from India.
All right, this question is for you also, Tiara. Diana is asking, if we got rejected this year and we apply again, are we still able to attend finals in Dubai or whatever it holds? If we can, do we need to have been rejected in any particular stage?
That's a really good question. So actually, a couple of the finalists, I think actually Aya, maybe you can speak to this after I'm done. But no, even if you're rejected this year, you can definitely still apply next year, and you
Yes.
will be selected as a finalist, as Aya can tell you.
Yes, in my case, I applied to the Crossroad program in 2019. I was not shortlisted for the finalists and semi-finalists. I was my eligibility stopped on the Harvard X courses. But in the 2020, I reapplied and I continued to the final stages.
All right. So Muhammad Sultan, he's asking then, do you recommend to send application since I have traveled before? Muhammad, you can send an email to Crossroads and they can guide you through if you can apply or not. You can like have private chat with them and they can give you like more guided response. Zirish is asking, will every participant unlock the assessment at the same time, or would it be different for everyone based on when they complete the courses? Tira, I think this is for you.
Yeah, thanks, Miriam. So you're right. It will be based on when they complete the courses. So the online assessment actually only takes 1 hour to complete. So once you complete a Harvard X course, we'll invite you to complete the online assessment. So you just need 1 hour of stable internet connection. You can take the exam on your phone. You can do it on a tablet or a computer, but you do need 1 solid hour of internet connection. And I just saw Mohammed. We will send the email in the chat.
All right. Yeah, I think we have Muhammad As-Sultan, he wants the email address where he can like send an email. So now we'll be sharing it on like the chat box. And there's no any more questions. So if anyone have any more question, we'd love to answer. If you can type it on the chat box or you can open up the mic to speak up.
Yes, if anyone wants to raise their hand, or we can go ahead and unmute you if you want to ask your question out loud. I'm sure a couple more may trickle in, but I just want to say a huge thank you to both Aya and Miriam for being here today, for being so thoughtful and compassionate and honest about their experience in the Crossroads Emerging Leaders Program. I was blown away listening to them. I really hope it was as fulfilling an experience for all of you who are attending. Diana, I just saw your question in the chat about the info session in Latin America. It was recorded, and we can shoot us an email and we will send you the link to that recording. You can also find all of the recordings on our website at themithellinstitute.harvard.edu. That will link in the chat. As a couple more come in, I think maybe Aya, Miriam, I know you basically talked about this before, but just to round out the session, would you maybe be open to sharing like what's the biggest takeaway you had from Crossroads? That's a heavy question, but if something comes to mind.
Actually, for me, it's everything from A to Z, like the networking, the knowledge, like really the knowledge that you take inside the lectures and also from Harvard courses, and the whole experience is really nice. The people that you meet, how much like you will be amazed of how much they are willing to give rather than take. It's really interesting, beneficial. Like, yeah, what's the intake? It's everything.
Yeah, I also agree with Aya. Like every single thing from the very first moment you submit the application and you get the first acceptance email. It's a great moments all like around, and like the people you meet along the way. Trust me, there are connections for life. One connection from Crossroads to Lani, if you remember him, Aya from Nigeria, opened the huge door for me to the whole Nigerian population. All right, electricity out in Lebanon. Anyway, yeah, from meeting a lot of people and learning from Harvard professors and the knowledge that you get, the way of thinking that got introduced to you, everything along the way is just fascinating, and like you just benefit from every single moment you are with them, because trust me, it's unbelievable the amount of knowledge and skills that you can get.
So thank you both for staying on, even though it looks like the power went out. Thank you so much. And I think we were just talking before this session, and I think I and Miriam realized they're actually neighbors, which is amazing. So
May I ask a question?
One of the most amazing aspects is that you'll meet students from who you would have never had the opportunity to meet before, and then you become so close. You might even realize that they've been right around the corner this whole time.
Yeah.
Rachna, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was asking that. May I ask a question? So someone muted me again. So yeah. So I was saying that while asking for the mentor thing, so what do I have to mention in the mail? Just asking for the mentor or something else?
Yeah, just shoot us an email. Just say we spoke at the info session, and I'd love to be connected with Crossroads alumni from India, and we will connect you to them. Well, I hope that answered that question.
Muhammad Hassan raised his hand.
Yes, I have a question. Actually, two.
Go
I
ahead.
have applied in February, but I wanna edit my resume or my essay answer. Is it applicable or not? And
thank you for the question. We will get back to you on your application very soon, and if you need to make any edits, we'll open it from our end. But if you haven't heard back from us, it means that everything looks okay so far. And so don't worry about it. If you have an update to your resume or something like that, you can always send that to us at a later application stage. But whatever you submitted in February, as long as you are a low income first and family to college student, should be completely fine. So don't worry about it.
Okay. I have another question actually. Actually, this year is my third time to apply for Crossroads program, and my obstacle actually, or my challenge, is the assessment test, the phase after hard physics courses. Last year, I did hard preparations, and I got 99% in each category in the test, and I don't know actually what further I need to do. Any advice for preparations, or any hint how to do well in the exam to be in the finalist test or finalist list or something?
I think you get it before. You know kind of how the system works now. So what I recommend for you is to get some samples and try to practice more and more, because the more samples you will be able to practice, I think the faster you will be, and the more time you'll have to rethink the answers and double check your answers. So maybe to do some practice exams a little bit more, and you'll be off to go, and hopefully this will be your year to get accepted.
It's all in this phase. It's all about getting the highest grade or something else.
So thank you for your question. So we don't just look at the highest grade. We want to get a sense of you as a person. So if you can make sure that we know what you're passionate about, what you're curious about, why you're interested in connecting with young leaders from around the world, I think those kind of aspects are really helpful for us to get a sense of who you are. So it's not just the highest grade or the grades on your transcript. It's kind of, we really want to get to know you as a person so that we can identify how we can support you as a Crossroads student.
Okay, how can I reflect on what you has just mentioned, how to justify that why I want to apply for this program? And that's there was one question only in the application, 200 words or something, but I mean it doesn't reflect myself in this application. So there is another phase for answering such essay questions, or what?
Yeah. Oh, Miriam, go ahead.
Yeah, what I recommend for you, Muhammad, reflecting yourself, even if you have 200 words, I think your resume, or if you have a good LinkedIn profile, it's not about connection, it's about what you put on it. So for example, I don't have a lot of connections, but I keep it updated for what I do in my community. And having a good resume, it shows the work that you did. So let's say Mariam shows she likes volunteering because she loves helping her society. So let's say I volunteer for, I don't know, 5 hours a week. It means that I'm committed to change. I want to make a difference. I'm curious about the difference I want to see in my community. So this kind of stuff portray your personality, and those 200 words, they seem a little, but how do you deliver the message? It's about how to communicate what you have to offer, and like showing that you want to be that change in your community. You can talk about experience that you have, you can talk about your university journey, you can talk about basically anything. It's like an open question, it doesn't have to be very specific. So anything you think it can portray your personality, whether it was an action, a story, or anything that you did, or anything that can portray you, put it there, and they will be able to see this personality. Because every single year, at least my cohort, the one that I knew, every single one of us, they had something unique. They had this fire in them to be leaders in their community. And I honestly believe Crossroads does an amazing job every single year to pick out those people. So if you just can portray it by your resume, by your essay, the mini essay that you do, they would definitely see it.
Mhm. Yes,
Okay,
and
thank
also I
you.
want to mention, and also concerning the essay, I want to mention something is that write something that is not stated on your resume or on your LinkedIn, like why you are doing those stuff, what the reason behind you are doing this volunteering activity, or what's your motive, or what change would you like to see in the world. Writing something that is not mentioned on your resume and CV and LinkedIn is a win situation also.
Okay, my last question, when will the result be announced for the first phase?
Our team will get back to you with your results very, very soon. You can expect to hear from us in the next 3 days.
Wow, okay. Thank you so much for answering.
I know we have another student.
Raising their hand. Naku, I think. Let me try to unmute.
Yes.
All right.
Do you want to ask your question? Maybe they don't have a question. That's okay.
Hey, good evening.
Hi, Lena. Do you have a question?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I have a question about traveling outside my country. So for a part of my life, I was living in a country, and then I came back to my original country, Sudan, to study university, and I stayed there. So during the application, I was asked if I have ever traveled outside the country. So does this account, or does this make me ineligible for the application?
Thanks so much, Lena. I think that's a really good question. With our travel requirement, we do make case-by-case exceptions, and we really want to make sure that we align your question with the information in your application. So based on what you said, I do think you're still eligible for Crossroads, but please write to us through the platform with your application so that we can make sure we can give you the best answer possible. Thanks for the question, Lena. Let me know if you have a follow-up.
Thank you so much.
So it looks like we have gone through all of the questions. If you ask something in the chat, our team has been on the chat kind of responding. I just want to say again a huge thank you to Aya and Mariam for hosting this session. It's been so amazing to hear your experiences, and I think for all of you attending, like, you get to meet students like Aya and Mariam, and I think that's the most incredible thing that you will come away from the program with, is that you'll be able to meet students like them, and they're amazing. I'm sure that you all feel that way from listening to them share their experiences over the past hour or so. And I think that that's the most beautiful part of Crossroads is the connections that you make with young leaders who are changing the world around them from all over the world. In this case, we have two students who met through the program who realized today that they're actually neighbors. So.
Exactly. Up until today, I knew that Mariam is my neighbor. Like we are only one street apart.
Literally just one street apart.
So yeah, thank you so much for attending. And you won't regret anything, even if you didn't shortlisted to further stages or to the finalists. You will learn something, and the connections and network that you will gain from this network will definitely change your perspective and also widen your connections.
Yeah, 100%. It's an amazing experience. And I think just put an application there, benefit from the courses, benefit from the leaders and amazing people you're going to meet internationally. It's always very fascinating to meet people from different backgrounds and just have fun. It's an amazing experience after all.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much. Aya and Miriam joined today from Lebanon. I know we have students from all over the world who joined us, students from Sudan, from Oaxaca City in Mexico. I know it might be very light for some of you in India or Bangladesh. Here in California, it's just the crack of dawn. So it's been really awesome seeing all of you come together. We'll send all of our links in the chat before we head out. You can follow us on social media. I know you're all very tech savvy, so we can message you on there. You can also email us with any questions. And again, our team is here to support you for anything you might need. I'm really excited to get to continue to know you. Rashna's asking where I am from. That's a great question. My parents are from Kolkata, but they came here to the San Francisco Bay Area, and so I'm joining from here. And yeah, very international cross-cultural program. Huge thank you to Aya and Miriam. It's been so awesome getting to chat. I'm excited to keep talking with you both. We'll keep the session open for a couple of more minutes, just in case anyone wants to ask a last minute question in the chat. But otherwise, thank you for joining us, and we'll send our links very shortly.
Good evening, madam. Madam, please, I wish to ask for those that are attending the program, and then since it's like the program is based on business, so I wish to ask that those that are not doing business in school, how are they going to do it?
That's a really wonderful question. I'll just go ahead and answer quickly, but Miriam and I, if you want to chime in, please do so. I know that neither of you are actually business-oriented students. I think Miriam is I know studied like mathematics, and Miriam is a medical student. So and they are here today sharing their experiences. So even though our faculty, our co-founder from the Harvard Business School, we really prioritize having a global interdisciplinary classroom. So we really want to challenge you to explore a field you might not have explored before. And also, I think, Miriam, please feel free to chime in.
Yes, so personally from my experience, my field is mathematics, and I didn't have any connections or anything related to business. However, I didn't find it difficult to understand the material of the case or the lectures. It's totally the opposite. It was very detail oriented, where it teaches you how everything from the early beginning until the final end, in order to understand every aspect from the case and to fully grasp the whole idea. So I'm pretty sure that Crossroad program is ensuring the material given, in terms of the material given, they are ensuring that it's understandable from all backgrounds.
Yes, I agree with Aya. Like, even if I'm from a medical background and a lot of actually the cohort were doing medicine, as Aya said, the material is just very detail oriented, and it's very easy to understand and to follow up with. It's not complicated, and the professors make sure that you are able to understand anything. And one thing about the program, as Tiara said, it's for many disciplinaries, not only one. Like, you want to hear the perspective of other people from a finance background, from a mathematical background, from the medical, because each one of us have something to add, and the program is programmed in that way, and the courses are in that way for us to complete each other and to listen to each other. So whatever background you're coming from, it won't make any change. It's just it will be like the freshness for other person. It's gonna be a new thing.
Great, thank you so much for that question. I know we've gone 20 minutes past the hour. Thank you so much, Aya and Miriam, for sticking around. We're gonna go ahead and close the session. Yashra, Afi, please send the links one last time so that the students have access to it. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you submit your application. Like we've been saying, it takes 15 to 20 minutes to complete. You can do it on your phone. Our deadline is March 22nd. So please go ahead and believe in yourself. You can succeed in this program, and our team is here to support you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we're looking forward to continuing to getting to know you. Also, just, yeah, so thank you so much, Aya and Miriam, and I think
Thank you.
that has encouraged,
Thank you for the opportunity.
of course, and if there's anything that has maybe encouraged you all who joining to apply for the program, it's that you can meet incredible students like Aya.
Exactly.
Thank you all, and we'll be closing the session now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.